another episode of Anthropologist watches Amberlynn Reid, and I have a confession. I actually forgot Amber posted a video, so sorry. That's why this one's so late. This one, it's only a day old as of the recording of this right now. I forgot, and B, I got busy trying to figure out how to get the Sister Wives episode. There's 4 of them. There's only one up right now, but like I figured I was going to have problems with the TLC copyright claims and stuff like that, because I watched Shaun of Steel and he's constantly complaining about it, and so I kind of had to figure out a way around it. I don't know if it's the best solution, but I feel like it's the best solution for right now. Unfortunately, I had to add like background music and an overlay onto the video itself. So far that seems to be holding, so we'll see. But anyway, back to this. I totally forgot Amber posted a video, so hopefully while I'm recording this, Amber will be making a new video herself, but just judging by this video, I think we're in the middle of depressed Lynn era again, which a lot of us were predicting was going to happen. The current down cycle that we're in right now should not be of a huge surprise to anyone. Just on top of it in general, like Amber moved. She's moved in by herself. She's never lived by herself. She's in an area where last time she lived there, she wasn't terribly happy to live there. She's single, and that's really bothering her more than she cares to admit. And she's being very creepily obsessed over her ex and doesn't seem to understand that this is a problem that she should maybe go talk to a professional about. But there we are. So all of these things adding up, it's understandable that Amber would be going through like a blue phase. So we're all here for it, though. Before we get any further, I am an anthropologist by training. I am an archaeologist retired. Those are my credentials. So when I start talking about stuff, take what I say with a grain of salt, y'all. You just take it with a grain of salt anyway. Don't trust people on the internet. We're internet people. And oh yeah, thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. It's been really great. Thank you for everybody who gave me suggestion. This is going to be fun. Thank you to everybody who gave me suggestions on things you'd like to see on the channel other than Amberlynn and Glitter and Lasers reacts, because A, I wanted to expand things further, and B, I wanted to get more content out during November and December, just because apparently this is like the time to put out content. Also, I feel like if I could get some new things started going these 2 months, that like there's more content to carry the channel forward next year. Also, if you hear loud banging or whatever the hell that noise just was, they're replacing the roof on my apartment building, and I mean, they're replacing the roof. I'm not the top apartment. There's actually an entire floor of apartments between me and the roof, but they're pretty loud, and they're very determined. So hopefully that'll be done here in the next day or 2. They were telling us it's going to be about 3 days, so there you have it. I apologize for the noise ahead of time. There's not anything I can really do about it other than not record, and this is already a day late, so there we go. All right, if you've made it this far in my rambling, go ahead and give the video a like, and you might as well subscribe. I do have more content that you might be interested in, so hit that bell, I guess. Ring the bell. Does the bell actually ring when you hit it? I am not bell subscribed to a lot of people. I think it just automatically does that for you now. Anyway, Amber is sped up to her traditional time and a quarter. I know many of you have probably already watched this through other reactors, or maybe you watched it yourself. I have a feeling the majority of the noise won't actually get picked up unless I'm talking while it's occurring, so hopefully that's what's going to end up happening, because I've got enough noise suppressors on the mic that hopefully it'll cut most of that, but it's an adventure, you guys. Anyway, let's get started. So yeah, let's get started. I know it's been... Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Let me start it over.
Hey guys, welcome to a new vlog. I know it's been a hot minute. I was trying to figure out, like, why am I not in the mood to film? Like, what is happening? Which is, like, besides the obvious, just heartbreak, sadness,
Could you get over the heartbreak, like, anytime soon, please?
loneliness. And it's because I honestly feel like I'm supposed to be a certain way that, like, I just don't. I don't feel that way right now, like, at all. I'm supposed to be thriving as single-in, and right now I'm just, I can't say that I 100% am. And it's like,
To be fair, she has spent the better part of what, the past month and a half trying to convince us that she is thriving and that she is happy and that her skin smells like coconut oil and all that good stuff. I just recently watched Alex's Shook's retro dive into what's her name? Young Dumb Honey Bun. Never liked her. So anyway, I've got the coconut oil thing stuck in my head again.
like, I don't want to, like, make all my videos about, oh my god, I'm heartbroken, like, I miss my ex, or I miss our friendship, or...
I can probably count on one hand the number of videos you've made since you moved where you haven't mentioned your ex or the fact that you're heartbroken. And you've put out several videos since you've moved.
This or that. Like, I don't want all my videos to be that, but I just feel like,
don't you know?
If I come on here and I'm like, I seem sad or something, I feel like a lot of people are going to be like wondering, like, what's wrong and stuff. And really, it's just like, there's a lot.
Honey, we're not wondering. We know. You keep telling us. There's nothing to wonder about. And also, again, as I've said in several other videos, she doesn't owe us an explanation. It's just when she does give us an explanation, we can then comment on it because it's online. That's the thing. Like, if you want things to be private about your life, don't mention them. All right. And I'm not one of those people that, like, the vague posting, that doesn't bother me as much as it does some other people. And I guess as somebody who doesn't mind the vlog, the vague posting, I don't get why people get so upset about it. Because for me, it's just like, it's fine for her to say something to the effect of, oh, there's stuff happening in the background that I got crap happening and I don't want to talk about it. That's fine, because also eventually she talks about it or somebody finds out somehow, so it's not that big of a deal. But the best course of action would honestly be to just not mention it at all. Don't even mention something's wrong. Sure, people will pick up on something being wrong, but I mean, she doesn't owe us an explanation. She just keeps giving us explanations, and then we have the ability to comment. I really feel sorry for my upstairs neighbors.
A lot of stuff up here. There's a lot of stuff in my heart. There's a lot of stuff I'm just not saying. I don't know. I just feel like there's expectations that I'm not succeeding at, or I'm not fulfilling. And I need to take away that thought and just be like, this is my life.
That the idea that you have expectations that you are not fulfilling, that's something we've all come to terms with. Most of us have come to terms with a very long time ago when we started watching this channel. So if you're a longtime viewer and you still have expectations of Amberlynn, man, I got some sad news for you.
This is what I'm currently going through, and I'm tired of wondering, like, are these expectations, like, am I meeting them? Because no, I'm not going to be meeting them. I just kind of have to live life for me in this moment. Stop focusing so hard on, like, I need to make the best vlog possible, because it's just not happening. So
I mean, you could still put some effort into making a good vlog. I mean, your bills, your rent, your food, it depends on this channel. Like, you don't have any other source of income. You've never diversified your income. You've never grown your brand beyond this, so you not doing even the bare minimum sometimes with your videos, the only person who's getting hurt here is you, because this is your income. I would think that would be a little bit more motivating than it appears to be for her. I don't think Amber's hurting for money, but I would be willing to say that she's probably not making as much as she's made in her heyday. But it's still your income, it's still your money. I don't know. If that was my only source of income, I would be a lot more paranoid about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Here we have some dirty clothes that I'm actually going to be taking to a laundromat because, as you guys know, my dryer was making that really weird noise. Maintenance came, listened to it, and they were like shocked. They were like, I've never heard a dryer make this noise in my life. So I'm waiting for them.
Okay. Yes, the maintenance people whose job it is to maintenance things have never heard a dryer that clearly has something stuck in the drum that is grinding. Okay, cool. Your dryer is so unique that no one on this planet has ever heard any dryer ever make a similar noise. You have discovered a brand new way for dryers to malfunction. You are lucky they didn't just catch fire like they do in The Sims 4 and start systematically burning down small squares of your house.
To come fix it. I'm just really excited to be able to use the washer and dryer here. I have tons of dirty clothes that I need to do, so I'm actually going to go do that today. But I really just wanted to check in with you guys and say, like, overall, I'm okay. Do I have breakdowns where I cry at nighttime all by myself? Yes, but I'm alive and I'm grateful for certain people in my life. I'm grateful for my fur babies. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful to just be here to live and heal, and it's going to be a process. And it's like, I literally am heartbroken times 2. And it's not something that I want to like talk about, but
then don't. We already know who this is, though. Again, this is like the 3rd or 4th time I've watched this because I've watched 2 other people react to it too. So, and I watched it through once on my own because I was like, "Oh yeah, Amber posted," and then completely forgot.
It's so heavy on my chest that it's just like it's there. I am heartbroken times 2 because, you know, my recent ex that you guys know, and then the girl I was talking to, and I told you guys about her, how I fell in love, Like, I'm heartbroken over both of these things, and it's just been very hard and very heavy. I just want to let you guys know that, like, these next couple months, behind the scenes, I'm going to be just like hurting a lot. It is what it is. But like when me and my recent ex first broke up, like every day I would come on here and like cry to you guys and talk about it and give you these play-by-play updates. That's just not what I want for this. I think that's why right now it's very much like word vomit and just like explaining myself, that if you guys see me, you know, just like kind of down and maybe I go MIA for a little bit, it's just because I'm trying to like fix my broken heart and I just don't know how to do that right now. Okay.
Part of me does wonder if, because I've always had this suspicion about Amber. I can't confirm it in any real way, but I've always had this suspicion about Amber that she's a big fan of all of these melodramatic, chick flick, Girl Interrupted, what was that TV series about mental illness? And just like the over the top female focused romance movies and that kind of crap. I just feel like she's always been using those as a guide to how you're supposed to cope with life or how like mental illness and heartbreak look. I know she reads a lot of like romance, probably smut style, nothing wrong with smut or romance style novels. It's just, she just strikes me, well, we know she's immature. She even admits it herself, so it's not like I'm throwing stones at her. She admits this part, but it's just, as far as guidance in her life on how to react to things like heartbreak and mental illness, I feel like she's constantly looking towards these shows and these books and these medias that are glorifying it, like glorifying the non-coping and the obsession part of love and breakups. Personally, I don't think obsession has any place in a love style relationship, but personal opinion. But that's why I think she hangs on to this stuff so much. I don't really think she's actually hurting as much as she wants us to think she is. I think she's getting sympathy for it, because I know some of the comments in her section are things like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're healing. You know, you hang in there, girl. You've got this." I know she's getting some positive feedback from that, which is what she wants. So I think some of this is getting drawn out because of that positive feedback. But I think the other part of this is this is how she thinks it's supposed to be. she doesn't have any healthy role models or healthy guidance. I don't want the word role model. I guess model is the word I'm looking for. But she doesn't seem to have any idea of what it looks like when somebody's dealing with something in a productive kind of way. I won't necessarily say healthy. I just will say like productive, because one person's healthy may not be another person's, but there's a difference between being stagnant and not being able to move past the heartbreak, or she's already said that she doesn't want to put the work forward to deal with her BPD, her new BPD diagnosis. So she's perfectly content to stay in this non-coping stasis because she doesn't want to put the work in. And I think a lot of that comes down to she just doesn't know what it looks like when somebody is putting the work in. I'm not saying putting the work in makes you perfect, or that like every day is going to be rainbows and sunshine, or that when someone breaks your heart, you're just like, I'm over it. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying people who have coping mechanisms and who try to be productive within the confines of their mental health and that kind of a thing, you will see progress over time. And we don't see that with Amber. If anything else, we see Amber slide backwards. And yeah, part of that, again, I think is that's just what Amber thinks it's supposed to look like. I don't necessarily think she's really having these issues. I think she just thinks that's what it's supposed to look like. And the other part, again, of it is she doesn't want to put the work in to actually get better. So that's always been my major complaint about Amber and her mental health crap is she just doesn't, it's hard to have pity for her or sympathy for her because she doesn't try to help herself and she doesn't try to get better. As a matter of fact, anytime she does get medication or therapy or any of that kind of stuff, she not only fights it, but she flaunts on camera that she's not doing the things that her doctors have told her to do, or have suggested, I guess, that she do. Doctors don't tell you anything. It's not like they can like send you to a hospital prison if you don't want to take your meds. There's very few situations where that could happen, and Amber doesn't fall into any of those.
So I just got done walking Twinkie, and I made some very, very thin pork chops. She thinks that she's getting some, but she's not. They're super tiny and thin.
I love those thin cut pork chops. I'm not going to lie. They're way over seasoned. She makes jerky in her air fryer though. So, and I'm not against jerky. I really like those thin ones though. They cook up real fast.
Garlic salt and some pepper. As for my drink, which is literally my most favorite thing right now, Gatorade Zero Glacier Freeze. This is my last one, so I'm gonna enjoy it. I also have the fruit punch one. This one, it's okay, but this one by far is the best one I've ever had.
I wish that was my biggest problem in a day, that I've run out of blue flavor Gatorade and now I have to drink red flavor Gatorade. I love the trash bag aesthetic. It's very like trailer Barbie. I know there's lots of people that probably do that to get their clothes to and from the laundromat. It's just for Amber, it's just okay. So she's filming her mom putting quarters into the machine. Because those aren't Amber's nails. I don't even think that's Amber's hand. It doesn't look as swollen. But she's not even putting the quarters in herself. Did she think people wouldn't notice?
They're now in the dryer. Hello.
Hi.
All right, so clothes are done. I had to buy like these stretchy baggies because I accidentally ripped the trash bags.
That would be the other reason why I wouldn't use trash bags, but I guess in a pinch, you're going to do what you're going to do.
Hey guys, so
Hi.
it is the next day. I am just getting ready. I'm about to put on some lipstick here.
Is that what you're doing?
I really am sad because I don't know, I thought of something.
That's too easy. I'm just going to let it go. I'm sorry.
Because I just found out something. So a lot of you say that like I'm looking for a caretaker.
Yep.
And for a minute there I was just like accepting it because you guys know I do not drive.
Really?
I don't drive. I have an anxiety, but obviously I am thinking about getting my license. That is something I'm thinking
And it fascinates me. I'm sorry.
about. And I get a lot of crap for the fact that I don't drive. But I just found out, all within the span of 24 hours, that y'all's favorite reaction channel doesn't drive.
It took 24 hours for you to figure that out? Doesn't? Okay. I remember this popped up when we were talking about when I was watching Kicking Geese. And she doesn't name the y'all's favorite reaction channel, but I do think she's talking about Zachary Michael, because she can't be talking about Alex is shook. Alex drives. Anyway, computer's plugged back in, low battery, crisis averted. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So she was mentioning your favorite YouTuber. And I was watching this with Kicking Geese, in her living room, no less, because she and I are BFFs. No. So anyway, the Kicking Geese was wondering if Amber was talking about her specifically. And it's probably she's talking about Zachary Michael. Again, Alex is shook. These are the only people I watch, by the way. Alex is shook drives. We know that. We've seen evidence of it. But with Kicking Geese's situation, Kicking Geese is like legitimately disabled and can't drive because of that. And as my understanding, like Zachary lives in like Chicago, like inside the city, or he lives inside one of the larger metropolitan cities. And so anyway, he's got access to like public and mass transit, so he doesn't need to drive. Even the people that live in downtown Philly don't drive because they've got the buses and they've got the train, and there's a subway that's inside the city. It doesn't go outside the city proper, but it's inside the city. So once you're downtown, you don't have to drive. I won't claim that SEPTA is like great, because it's not, but it's functional in that it runs. But that's kind of the thing. Amber doesn't live in anything like that, any kind of city like that. So this is an irrelevant comparison. This is like apples to pineapples, but she doesn't understand the difference is kind of the thing. Like all she sees is people pick on me because I don't drive, yet this person who is able-bodied and thin, she thinks Zachary Michael is thin, and all this stuff. She's just like, he doesn't drive, they don't drive, therefore you're just picking on me because I'm fat. This is the argument that she's going to finish making. It has nothing to do with that. Honest to God, as someone who does drive, I would not want Amber driving. She can't hold a thought in her head for longer than 5 seconds. She can't pay attention to anything for more than 5 seconds. Like, her critical decision-making skills are questionable at best, in my opinion. I don't trust her to be able to maneuver within the car fast enough if something were to occur. Like, she'd have to brake real hard or real fast or make a sudden turn or something. I don't think she physically could maneuver inside a car well enough to do that. And so all of those things combined, in my opinion, I personally do not want Amber driving. I know a lot of people are like, oh, she needs to learn to drive. I don't want Amber driving. I'm perfectly okay with the fact that Amber can't drive. That's just one more person who doesn't need to be on the road. So that's my personal take on the matter. And yeah, but she's going to go on to make this ridiculous argument. But this also is not the reason why people think she needs a caretaker. The driving part of it is the least of the problems. This must be the other door that she had blocked with all the crap. Because I thought the new lecture spot was going to be in the laundry room. But apparently she can't lecture us unless she's looking in a mirror. Which is good to know. It's good to know that she has to be watching herself when she's lecturing herself. It's like she has to distract herself from us while she's lecturing us. But I think what's really happening here is it's not that she's distracting herself. I think what's happening when she lectures us and she has to be in front of a mirror while doing it is she's showing us how little we matter in that moment, because she's not even giving us her full attention while she's talking down to us. She's doing something personally, like her makeup or her hair she's demonstrating how much better she is than us by putting us at this low angle where she literally has to talk down to us, and also we're not even worthy of her full attention while she's lecturing us. I think that's more the situation. It's a power play for her. A power play against an invisible cloud of people that she just assumes exists. This is also another example of Amber's codependency on her audience.
And Tana Mongo, whatever her last name is, I'm bad at pronouncing, as you guys know. She also...
Who the fuck is Tana Mongo? Why would you even bring her up? What? Tana Mongo.
Hi guys, it's Tana Mojo. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is one I am very excited about and probably one of my favorite videos in history to make ever.
How to cake your face like a pro. I do like cake. Wow. Blackout drunk get ready with us in Mexico. Another pointless blackout drunk Cabo vlog. What an influencer brand trip is really like. I'm never getting invited back. That's funny. Jeff and Tana confess to their darkest secrets. Bootleg Spill Your Guts. Or Spill Your Guts. Went on a double date in Coachella and fought the whole time. Cool. I went to Cabo. Is Cabo a place? Went to Cabo sober for the first time ever. 30,000 designer. Is this someone that people like hate watch? What am I clicking? I'm trying to find the about section. There is no about section. All right, cool. Good to know. Let's see. Oh, that's because they've moved it. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Tana Mongo. I'm a struggling demonetized influencer. Check out my story times, music videos, and other videos on my channel. Buy my merch. Cool. What the hell does Tana Mongo have to do with Amberlynn Reid? Why are you even comparing yourself to Tana Mongo, Amber? You are none of the things that she does, including being demonetized. So what is the deal? I don't get it. Completely nothing like you. This isn't even apples to pineapples. This is apples to bananas.
Also doesn't drive. It's just like there's a lot of other, obviously, probably people on YouTube who don't drive and
who have nothing in common with you. So what's your point?
No one says like, oh, you need a caretaker. So I have put two.
People don't say you need a caretaker specifically because you don't drive. People say you need a caretaker because you're freaking 600 pounds. And you've demonstrated in the past that you require a caretaker. You've demonstrated in the past that you were bedbound. Even when you weren't bedbound, you required your girlfriends to do menial tasks for you. This is why everyone was concerned about the singular dog getting walked, or the cats getting cared for, or just the day-to-day stuff that you need to do. That's the stuff people think you need a caretaker for. But the reality of the situation is if your mom wasn't there to drive you everywhere, what would you do? Would you take the mass transit? I don't even know what it looks like in Oklahoma where she's at. Would you call Uber? You've claimed to have done that in the past, but didn't show any of it. Sorry, I'm a very short person and I slide down in my chair a lot. Like my feet currently are not touching the ground. There's like a good inch between my bottom of my foot and the floor. So I slide around a lot, is what I'm trying to say. But that's the point. Like, Amber is also a very short person. She's taller than me, but she's still a short person. And you've shown in the past that just the act of cleaning out the cabinets and the fridge, or the constant reorganization that you were doing in the old apartment, you need assistance doing that as well. Like, you didn't even set up your own television. I'm willing to bet you probably didn't unpack everything on your own either. If there's pictures on the wall, I'm pretty sure you didn't hang them. I haven't seen pictures though. It's that kind of stuff that people think you need a caretaker for. The driving thing is just one of many things that people are like, you need a caretaker. And the majority of the reason that you need a caretaker, Amber, is because you're 600 pounds. You can't walk very well. You can't reach. You couldn't stand on a stool if you had to because your balance is crap. You might fall. And if you fell, no offense, that would be probably really bad. Like, I know she's fallen on her ankle a few times, and I know that she's like slipped on a sock once or twice, but that's not a fall from a height. That'll be a different type of fall. And the fact that she's able to rebound from those minor falls so quickly is kind of impressive. I don't think she'd rebound from a fall from like a 2-foot stool like that, or if a ladder collapsed underneath her. I don't see her rebounding from that very quickly or at all. Those are the reasons people think you need a caretaker. The driving is just one thing. And again, going all the way back to the beginning of my rant, I'm really okay with her not driving. I really think she'd be an absolute nightmare of a driver, and I don't want to have to be on the road with her.
Two and two together, I've realized that people say that to me because of my weight. And
yes, actually.
I'm feeling sad about it. I just don't think it's okay. I literally live on my own. I do everything by myself.
You have lived by yourself for like a month and a half, and we could argue how alone you actually are. Your mother's come over and cooked a dinner for you at least twice that we are aware of, and we know that you're going out to eat on the regular and ordering food.
I don't need nobody, but yes, I don't drive.
Says the woman who's later on going to have a breakdown about the fact that you're single. Putting it out there.
And come to find out, a lot of people don't. A lot of people that I thought drove actually don't. So
who are these lots of people? So far, you've mentioned one YouTuber, which may or may not be Zachary Michael, and some other YouTuber that I'm still not entirely sure why you're comparing yourself to them.
We're going to look at the reaction channel and say, oh, you need a caretaker because you don't drive. It's just like, it's such a weird concept.
And this is another point that like I kind of want to go back to Kicking Geese's live react, is because when Amber got to this point, Kicking Geese was like, yes, I do, because I'm disabled. I'm legitimately beyond my own control disabled. Amber's not. Amber just won't get better. Amber won't do the things that she needs to do to get better. She won't get help. She won't stay on medicine. She won't do exercise. She won't watch her diet. She doesn't even really have to restrict her diet, honestly. I think if she just started eating regular whole food meals, wow, I'm saying it the way she does now, she would get fuller and satiated faster, and she would lose weight naturally that way, because the body doesn't want to be 600 pounds. So I don't even honestly think she'd need to restrict her diet until probably she plateaued. I would imagine she'd lose at least 100 pounds just eating whole foods, you know? And I'm not talking like the frickin' Tiffany plate stuff with the mustard and the cottage cheese. Mustard and sausage. Sorry.
To me that like it's okay to say that to me because of my weight.
Pet your hair some more. Tell me that you're not lecturing me by not telling me you're lecturing me. Just keep petting your hair, doing your face, not paying attention to us while you tell us how we're despicable. Despicable.
I wasn't going to say anything, but it's just like I need to like stick up for myself. I need to stand up for myself just a little bit more.
Yes, because you are a total doormat.
Not doing enough of that. I think it's really important that people stand up for themselves.
It is important that people stand up for themselves. It is. I will give her that. I will. And I guess if she feels like she's being slighted, I'm not going to yell at her for standing up for herself. I'm just pointing out that she's never had a problem doing it in the past. So this isn't like new. So there's that kind of a thing. I do believe people should stand up for themselves, especially on the internet. But there's a Gotta be ready for that backlash because it's ugly.
Trying my best. Hello. So it's been a hot minute since I talked to you guys, like the whole day. I actually just got home. I ran some errands with my mom and we went and got lunch together. And now I'm going to give you guys a really quick grocery haul.
So you can't even go to the grocery store without your mom. I'm not slamming it, but if it wasn't for your mom taking care of you by taking you to run errands and to the grocery store, you wouldn't be able to do it by yourself. That is the definition of requiring a caretaker. Anyway.
Pesto tortellini, some sour cream and chives mashed potatoes, chicken stuffing. I got some of these like raviolis. This is Italian sausage and a chicken and roasted garlic, paper towels, pork chops because I'm obsessed, some olive oil and garlic.
Effectually instant food, but I use canned sauce too, so I don't have a whole lot of stones to throw there.
Just sauce for the raviolis. I got some ramen noodles. And of course, I got a ton of my most favorite drink right now. It is so freaking good.
Look at all the vegetables.
And then I got a ton of veggies. Broccoli, cauliflower, radish, celery, random stuff. And of course, apples.
It is random, and that's the thing. Even I buy a ton of vegetables, but the vegetables all have a recipe that they're attached to. I don't just like randomly buy bags of vegetables because if I do, they die a very slow and sad death in my refrigerator. So I get to feeling bad about it, so I quit doing that. There's a couple of vegetables I keep on hand just because I know I like them. My train of thought was well derailed. So let's jump back in.
So I look like a mess. I feel like a mess. This is like a moment where
I know she thinks she feels like a mess, but she doesn't look any different than she did when she jumped on to tell us about her grocery haul. Like, no offense, Amber, but you look exactly the same. I guess comfort, maybe? Don't worry, Amber, you look exactly the same. You may feel like a mess, but you don't look like one.
I literally told myself that I was not going to do this. I was not going to do this.
Then why did you do it? This is the part I don't understand. She knows she gets backlash for this. She knows people don't like it. And yet she continues to put these breakdowns on camera. I guess because she feels like she gets enough sympathy and enough pity from her audience that there's positive feedback for her for this behavior. But then she gets really angry about the criticism that she gets for this. And the best way to not get criticism for constantly crying on camera is to stop crying on camera. But like that never seems to occur to her. Either that or the payoff of this breakdown on camera is greater than the negative feedback she gets for doing it. Does that make sense? So somewhere in this equation, A, it's padding her video out because we're only 7 minutes in and it's a 12-minute video. So A, it's padding her video out that we know she has like zip content for. And also she has to be getting some kind of ass pat for this because otherwise, why would you do it? Also, staring at the ceiling or looking directly into the light is a #1 way to get your eyes to water to make it look like you're crying. Putting that out there. It's a well-known trick in soap operas.
Like the truth is, as the time goes on and I am losing more and more of like the two people that I love, which is such a weird concept that like you can love more than one person at a time.
Why is it such a weird... Okay, I don't want to have that conversation. As usual with these sorts of things that she does, the dishonest tells that she puts forward are... There's a lot of them, and they're at weird points, so it's really kind of hard to tell when she's basically making shit up and lying, and when she's telling the truth as she perceives it. So, like, right now, I don't know what's going on. But I know that earlier when she was talking about how she's losing more and more of the two loves of her life, her eyes were over in her deceptive zone. So I think deep down she knows she wasn't in love with either of them. She was just dependent on Wifey and hopeful that whoever this other person was going to take Wifey's place and be the new caretaker. And when that fell through, I think it was Kicking Gates was pointing this out. She had two major rejections, assuming they were both real, one right after the other. And for Amber, that's a massive ego blow. Like, you don't reject Amber. Amber rejects you, kind of a thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed that throughout the years. Like, even when she has her major breakups, and it's not even the breakups, like, even with her doctors and stuff, the doctors don't stop seeing Amber. Amber stops seeing the doctors, kind of a thing. So...
time, because like I really never believed that you could, but truth is you can. And it's just like the more I lose them and the more time goes, like I just feel so...
You're so unique, Amber. No one on the face of the planet has ever loved multiple people at one time to the point where there's an actual term and lifestyle named for it. No one has ever done that. We're just going to call it Amber love from here on out, because the only person who has ever loved two people at the same time is Amberlynn. So all right. It's no longer polyamory. It is ambery. It's kind of like that word now. Ambery. Sorry.
So broken, and I go out and I do things and I try to distract myself the best that I can, and then I come home and I am just...
Realize that you're alone and you don't have anybody to help you do the 90 million things that it takes to take care of a human being in a day. There's no one there to bring you stuff when you want it and you have to go get it yourself, or no one to make you food, you have to go make it yourself, or no one to help you with your daily hygiene because you have to do it yourself, or no one to do your laundry, so you have to do it yourself, no one to walk the dog, so you have to do it yourself, no one to feed the cats, so you have to do it yourself. I think I've made my point.
It was like loneliness and all of my thoughts, all of them, and all...
I honestly I do think she's lonely. And I do think she doesn't like being alone with her thoughts, as much as she likes to tell us that she's constantly journaling and yada, yada, yada. I don't think Amber likes Amber. I don't think Amber likes being in her own head, and she definitely does not like being alone. She will go out of her way to not be alone, even to the point where after she's been broken up with, she still manages to manipulate her girlfriends into spending time, large amounts of time with her, until she moves on to the next one. And this would be the first breakup that I am aware of where she wasn't able to manipulate the partner into doing that. And she didn't have a new partner to immediately jump to get out of it. So yeah, I do believe that she's terrified of being alone, and she doesn't like listening to her own... She doesn't like being in a space with herself, by herself.
All of my feelings are just like heightened and it's there for me to listen to and for me to feel, and I just don't...
But it also tells me that she doesn't do the things that she says she does in order to distract herself, because like people who play video games submerge themselves deeply into video games when they're going through a funk, and people who abuse substances, as she has claimed to do in the past, that's like their go-to. The only go-to Amber has as far as abused substances would be food, and she's playing her food cards real close lately, and I think that's because she's been just out of control with her eating, and she doesn't want to get called on it. As if we don't know. Like, it's the whole, like, I moved to Oklahoma, but I didn't tell you guys. Tee-hee-hee, I fooled you. And, like, we called it from before she even moved that she was going to Oklahoma. She really does think she can outsmart us. And I think this is another one of those situations. But anyway.
Like, it is literally torture. I feel like I'm being tortured because it's like...
she does.
It's that type of, like, loneliness and that type of pain where it's, like, a lump in your throat and your chest is super heavy and you just, like...
I don't think you actually have any concept of what pain is like, but I don't think that's necessarily your fault. I think there's a lot of things Amber needs to work through, and because she needs to work through them and never does, I don't think she has a grasp on what it actually feels like to have heartbreak or pain, as she keeps putting it, pain. And so, but I'm not entirely sure that's her fault. I think it's just, I'm not even positive she really can feel that kind of stuff. Like there's a point where you're just damaged, where you can no longer, where you just don't function right. And it's not necessarily your fault. You just, that part of you is just broken. And it's, I don't know if you can fix it. I don't know.
I feel like you're gonna spiral. Like that's how it feels. I just don't know how to be alone. I don't. And I'm coming to terms with that more than like ever. Like I physically can be alone, but mentally it's hard. And I think what's making it hard is like
the fact that the only person you have to talk to is the camera. So that's why you're talking to us. It's the same reason why you were making a crap ton of videos right after you moved, is because you were bored out of your gourd and you had no one else to talk to. So you were talking to us, and that's why we got videos every other day. And yeah, that's why we're not getting them now. The more miserable she'll get, I think the more videos we'll end up getting, just because she has no one else to talk to. She has no one to bounce her ideas off of. She has no one to share her funny videos, the funny TikTok videos with, even as she stopped talking about her TikTok too. Wonder what that one's about.
the fact that I'm not 100% happy. Like I'm going through.
Girl, you haven't been happy at all. We've been calling this since you moved. You can fake it all you want, but everyone I've watched has been calling the fact that you don't look or act happy, and you haven't since you moved.
So many different emotions when it comes to like two heartbreaks at one time, and it's just causing me to like.
It's not heartbreak, it's rejection. You're not heartbroken. You're pissy because you got rejected. I'm gonna call that one too.
Like go through a low. Like I'm just like really low, and I don't know how to handle it, because it's like I want to film, I want to do my job, but it's like how can I do it when I can barely like focus on like anything?
First off, you put your big girl panties on. Second off, if you had a format for your videos, you would, even when the content wasn't great, you would still have a format that you knew you'd have to slot stuff into. So you would still be able to put a video together, even though you're crying through the whole damn thing. And then the other end of that is, it just has to mean enough to you, and it doesn't. You wallowing in your own self-pity is more important to you than you paying your bills. Which I find odd, but I also understand that this is actually part of a depressive cycle. So as much as I'm sitting here and giving her shit for it, I do understand that, like, this is why you need to go to therapy. When this crap happens, you've got to be able to get yourself out of it. Amber's never demonstrated that she can do that. And I just wonder what it's going to be like if she does continue to spiral downward. Like, there's nobody to bring her hot water to her bed so she can bathe herself, you know? I feel like Mama Lynn is going to react in one of two ways. She's either going to cater to bedbound Amber, or she's going to be like, no, I crawled out of my own hole. You got to crawl out of yours. I don't know which one Mama Lynn will do.
I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I don't even know. I just am having a hard time separating job from my real life.
There's a separation?
Because it just doesn't make sense. Because my job is my life. And
yes.
Like, there's no break from that. You know, sometimes I miss having that job where I have to get up and I have to go and just leave my mind the best that I can, and I have to focus on other people and other things. And yes, I could go get a different job. I love YouTube. I don't want to quit YouTube. Right now I'm focusing on.
If you show love to other people in your life the way you show love to YouTube,
how can I healthily bring both of these things together without bombarding you guys with like just my sadness?
Why would you want people to see you like that?
I don't want to do that again. But I'm just having a hard time.
Because you're doing it. You're doing the thing you said you don't want to do. It's obviously not a hard time for you. You obviously think this is a brilliant idea. Brilliant.
Like, and I'm like, stupidly, I've thought of, like, why don't I just go back to, like, filming mukbangs? And it's like, that's
I give that a month.
not who I am anymore. It would be ultimately the easiest choice I could make, is just
Last time she did this rant, she turned to mukbangs again.
eat for you guys and just eat on camera. It would help my bank account, it would help my views, it would help engagement, it would help take my mind off of everything, but it's like, that's not who I am anymore.
Random thought, because this just goes on. I know that Hungry Fat Chick is going through a rough patch with her health and her diet and her weight loss, and because her channel's taking a hit because she's no longer doing like the mukbang stuff that she was doing. So I don't watch Hungry Fat Chick, so these are things that I'm picking up from other channels that do react to her or watch her. And I know a lot of people have expressed sadness that Hungry Fat Chick feels like she needs to return to the behavior, the content that got her where she's at. And one of the things I haven't heard, I'm sure it's out there, but one of the things I haven't heard from the people that I watch, I haven't heard like condemnation. I haven't heard shaming. I haven't heard any of that. I've heard most people saying things like, you know, it sucks that she feels like she has to do this. It sucks that, you know, this isn't working out for her the way she was hoping it was. It sucks that her audience isn't being more supportive of this shift that she's making because of her health. So I'm still hearing support for Candy, even though she's not doing well. And again, Candy stands out because Amber's always like, oh, you just pick on me because I'm a fat woman on the YouTubes. Candy is too. The only major difference between Candy and Amber has been like Candy's until recently never done the health journey thing. She's always been like, I'm a fat chick that eats on camera. That's what you get. And that's the audience she's built, which is understandable why that audience would quit watching while she's trying to get healthy, because that's what that audience does. Amber started her channel off as a health journey and then proceeded to gain 300 to 400 pounds. So that's the major difference. And Amber constantly wants ass pats for waking up in the morning. I've never heard anybody say that that's something that Candy's looking for. She just is, and she's okay with it. And it's unfortunate, and I will say it is unfortunate that despite her health journey, it's taking a detrimental toll on her finances and her mental health and just her audience in general. I feel bad for her for that. But I do wonder if this whole thing about, oh, I would turn to mukbangs, it would be better for me, X reason, Y reason, Z reason. I do wonder if she's not also keeping track of Candy and Candy's channel and Candy's return to mukbangs, and she sees the not quite so negative reaction Candy's getting for it, and she's like, why won't you guys support me? I'm a fat chick eating food on the internet. And it's like, well, yeah, but you're not Candy. You're not Hungry Fat Chick. Again, apples to pineapples. Yes, you are both fat women on YouTube, but that's where the similarity ends. Because Candy's always taking responsibility for it too. She's always like, yeah, my health sucks. It's because of this. It's, you know, she never tries to find an outward explanation for why it's the way it is. But anyway, my thought just was that Amber sees Hungry Fat Chick getting not such negative backlash for slipping back into mukbangs because she financially apparently needs to. And Amber wants that sympathy as well. She wants somebody in her comment section to go, oh, if you need to do mukbangs, that's fine. You got to make your money somehow. She wants somebody in her comment section to give her permission to start doing these mukbangs again. And then she'll be like, oh, look, you know, y'all said it was okay, so why are you so mad now? Kind of a situation. I do wonder if she's not trying to compare herself to Hungry Fat Chick. Was, I guess, the too long didn't read version of that.
More. And it's like, I can't take the easier way out. I can't do that. I can't do that to myself. And like, ultimately, I don't want to do that to you guys. I don't want to.
Again, I give it a month and she starts doing mukbangs again.
Do that to the people who have continuously supported me and they've seen growth in me. I can't do that and I won't do that. But it's like, I do have that nagging thought in my.
What growth? I'm not taking the easy shot here. She means like emotionally and like mentally. What growth? What maturity do you think you've demonstrated in the past 6 years? Like what?
My brain of like, well, just do that then. I don't want to do that. So it's like, I'm just like stuck in this weird spot of just like trying to figure it all out, because it's like, not only did I lose people that I was in love with, but it's like I lost my best friend and I just feel so freaked.
It must really suck having to replace your best friend every time you break up with somebody. Because like my best friend and I have been friends longer than the majority of people I know have been married. Like, I think she and I are going on being friends about as long as my parents were married. And they didn't divorce. It's just that kind of a thing. I think my best friend, actually, I know my best friend and I have been through every boyfriend I've ever had. All of them. Because I was friends with her the same time that I had my first official boyfriend. So she's literally been there for every relationship I've ever had. And I think I've been there for every one of hers as well. So this weird concept of having to completely replace your friend group up to and including your best friend every time you change a relationship, like, that boggles my mind.
Freaking lost. I know I rely so hard on someone else to make me feel good.
Yes, you do.
That I hate it. I just want to feel good by myself. And I know that's going to be like that's going to be a challenge. And I'm honestly, I see the comments now where it's like,
if you already know you're going to get backlash for this, I'm just going to keep saying this. Why are you posting this on the internet? Why are you posting this? At what point between filming and editing were you like, nah, this is cool? Why?
at the beginning of this video, I was like, I'm not going to talk about this, and da-da-da-da. I don't want to cry, and then here I am.
Clearly you do. Clearly you do want to talk about it. Clearly you do want to cry on camera. Clearly you do want us to all see you in this state. Because otherwise you wouldn't have done it. That's just all it boils down to. You're not forced to put this up here. This isn't something that you have to do. No one put a life-ending object up to your head and said, you must post this video. No, that didn't happen. You did this. This is you. We didn't even ask for this. There's no comment where it says, hey, Amber, you know what I really like watching? You crying. Post more of that. Maybe there's somebody. This has got it. Somebody somewhere is like, oh, yes. This is exactly what I wanted. The tears of the 600 pounds. Like that. Somewhere someone's doing that, I'm sure.
Literally the next day, in the same video, crying. Sometimes just like talking about it helps, and just crying and letting it out helps.
We are not your friends. We are not your therapists. Stop it. I haven't had to say that in a while.
Because I shove down so many tears all the time, and it's like, I need to like stop doing that. Okay, so I feel better now. I'm currently standing in my kitchen eating Cool Whip with a butter knife.
I apparently didn't watch this entire video. I don't wanna have video of me eating on camera for money, you guys. That's just not who I am. I'm gonna stand here and eat Cool Whip with a butter knife straight out of my fridge. It's so not the thing I just said I didn't want to do, you guys. It's totally different. Have I eaten spoonfuls of Cool Whip directly out of the Cool Whip container? Yes. This is why I don't keep Cool Whip in the house. Why a butter knife, Amber? Why not? Why not? So quirky. You're so unique and quirky. Well, look at her watching herself. She has to make direct eye contact with that viewfinder while she eats, because the next thing she's going to do is put this damn thing in her mouth. She has to watch herself eat. That is her thing. That is her starts with an F thing.
Out of the container.
There we go.
You know? So I was cuddling with Rarity on the bed after my crying session.
Eye contact.
Say hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Aw.
I talked to a friend of mine and I feel better. So sometimes you just need to cry.
And watch yourself eat on camera.
So I cried. Sadness, pain, heartbreak, all of it's coming in waves, and you guys happen to just witness.
Also, it's still frozen.
Well, partially witness one of them. And
I like how she's like trying to pretend like there's. She's trying to pretend like there's more of this that we are not seeing. There's like a deeper level that she's not showing us. You just filmed. Sorry, they're going medieval on my roof. You just filmed almost 5 solid minutes of you crying on camera. And you want me to believe that there's some more of it that is somehow different? And also acting like I wanted to see it? I didn't want to see the 5 minutes you had. Why in God's name would I want to watch the rest of it? I could have watched 5 minutes of you cuddling with your cat and been so much happier for it. That would have actually have been decent content because your cat's involved. Everyone, most everyone, loves cats. People on the internet love cats, okay? You've got 2 gold mines and a small dog that some people think are adorable. You've got 3 gold mines in your house to fill up your content with, and you resort to crying and cramming Cool Whip into your mouth, and then you wonder why no one has sympathy for you. All right, whatever.
Could take it out of this video, but honestly, I'm done wearing a mask. I'm done. Go through portions of the day where I'm really happy and portions of the day where I'm really low. And
I don't share the portions of the day that I'm really happy with you because I forget to record. I don't believe that. I honestly would not be terribly surprised if she doesn't have this camera on herself damn near 24/7 and she just doesn't share any of it because it would be way too much effort to edit it. I don't believe her when she says she forgets to record. I just don't think for whatever reason she wants to show it to us. Maybe she's recording herself eating and it's not something she wants us to see. Of course, right now she's cramming Cool Whip down her gullet, so I don't know, maybe. But I don't for a minute believe she forgets to record shit.
And if I plan on continuing to grow as a person, a YouTuber, and grow more connected to you guys, then I have to be honest with.
Also, how many times have we heard this lecture now? How many times have we heard this lecture now? This is nothing new. We haven't heard it in a minute, but this is nothing new. I would wager we probably haven't heard this since before she moved, and she was justifying showing us all the crying she was doing when her and Feline broke up. So it's been a month or so, maybe, since we've heard this particular. I have to show you me crying because it's raw and honest, and it's the only way I can connect with you on a personal level through YouTube. There's absolutely nothing else that I could possibly do to show you that I am a human being and have like feelings other than to show you me having a breakdown while I stare into a light so that my eyes will water.
Where my head's at.
And we're being punished again because we're not getting a video closure. She does that. I know she's irritated with her audience when she forgets to put a video outro on. She just cuts to the end screen, and eventually we'll even stop getting the cut to the end screen. It'll just stop altogether. So, I mean, I remember why I can see why I forgot to record this video, not gonna lie. Basically, this was just an excuse to watch Amber cry on video so that she could eat Cool Whip at the end of it. And now I kind of want Cool Whip, so I'm not gonna lie. But the point is, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. It's just, this is what we're gonna get until we get a new caretaker. I'm not even going to pretend like it's going to be a girlfriend. This is what we're going to get until we get a new live-in partner. And this is it. This is what we get. So I guess if you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave laundry down in the comment section as your emoji, because I don't think there's a Cool Whip one. If there is, go ahead and leave that one. And don't leave the poop emoji. Poop emoji isn't Cool Whip. Yeah, so there you go. Leave laundry, or if you can find Cool Whip, leave Cool Whip. Go ahead and leave a comment. There's nothing to say. I mean, yeah, I ranted a few times, but there's really nothing to say. At this point, I've got huge chunks I have to edit out of this. So I'm going to go get to editing this. Again, I'm really sorry that it took me a day to put this video together, but I honestly just forgot she did this video. And yeah, if you're here at the end, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. Leave your laundry or Cool Whip down in the comments section. And yeah, leave a comment if you have one. I'm always good for comments. And yeah, thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. And I will see everybody in the next one. Bye.